Okay. Okay, everyone, I'm going to go on ahead and get started. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you guys so much for those of you who have taken the time to join us today, just to take the time to lean in and learn a little bit more about CBD and Green Compass and how it can help you in your day-to-day life. For those of you who don't know me, I just want to introduce myself real quick. My name is Sarah Becker. I am a wife to my husband, Patrick, of 12 years, which sounds so crazy to me. I have two boys. My oldest is 9, Zachary. My younger is Tommy. He's 6. And I work full-time in business development for an inpatient psychiatric hospital here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And for those of you on this call who do know me, you probably know that I've always been wound a little bit tight. That's just who I am. That's my DNA. But things were manageable, totally manageable. Don't get me wrong. But then 2020 happened. To all the parents on this call of young children, I just want to take a moment to congratulate you. We survived that, guys. And like a lot of us, I found myself wearing all of the hats. I was juggling all of the plates and dropping 90% of them 24/7. And I started to feel like the walls were just kind of caving in on me, like I was somewhat walking on eggshells. And not only was I responding emotionally to that outside stimuli, but I was responding physically as well. I pretty much had tears like in the corners of my eyes, locked and loaded and ready to explode on anyone or anything that crossed my path at any time. And so working in the industry that I do, I'm very, very fortunate to have brilliant colleagues in my field at my fingertips. And so I reached out to an individual who's a professional in the mental health community here in Virginia Beach, who's very well respected by both myself and the community at large. And I just kind of started explaining to him how I felt and how I was feeling. And I kid you not, he asked me, have you ever considered CBD? And I giggled because yes, I have. I have this friend who's been trying to talk to me about it for a hot minute. And then he went on to say, I wish I could refer you to a brand I trust and love. But the truth is, there's a lot of gray area in the CBD space right now. And as far as quality control goes, I haven't found a brand that I know and trust yet. And I giggled again because here I have access through my good friend Shelby West to an organically grown and harvested USDA certified product produced right here in the USA, practically in my backyard in the beautiful state of North Carolina. So I reached back out to Shelby and I said, okay, I'm ready. Fill me in, give me the nitty gritty. And I learned that CBD could not only help me with my stress and overwhelm, but it could literally help anyone in my house, like everyone under my roof. My husband, Patrick, who I mentioned earlier, he played 12 years of rugby. And now as we reach the age of 40, he's starting to have a lot of pain in his shoulders, neck, and back. So I realized that CBD can help with pain. And then I realized Zach, my oldest son, who was having a really hard time with virtual learning. I mean, I promise you that first day of school, we spent the entire day crying in the closet, both him and myself practically. It could help him with his attention and focus. And then Ziggy, who in the midst of all of this, I decided was a great idea to adopt a dog, a street mutt from the streets of Puerto Rico. It could help her because she was scared of her own shadow, and it could help her with her own stress and overwhelm. And I just kind of started to realize, okay, my whole house basically needs a CBD bath bomb like right now. And as funny as that is, it was kind of like my primary light bulb moment. I realized that the demographic for CBD is anyone and anything with an ECS, endocannabinoid system. So I started to kind of realize like maybe I need to lean into this a little bit more. And so I started to continue that conversation. And I learned that Forbes projects CBD to be a $47 billion industry by 2028. And that a majority of hemp, about 80% sold in America, is manufactured in China, where they use the hemp as a mop crop to draw impurities and toxins out of the air. And then they package it all up, ship it back to the US. And then companies here are trying to jump on the bandwagon and white label these bottles and send them out to Americans. And who knows what we're consuming? I mean, Amazon isn't even legally allowed to sell CBD. So here we are at a point where I went back to that demographic light bulb I mentioned earlier, and I'm realizing that people, a lot of people, are looking for a brand they can trust, and the input from a friend goes a long way. So I leaned into that conversation. I asked probably every question under the sun, and I jumped in with 2 feet, and I haven't really looked back. And for me personally, to begin my CBD journey, I started using one of Green Compass's oil tinctures. It was a 500 milligram full spectrum oil tincture. And it really started to feel the benefits of that after about 2 weeks of using the product. And people always ask me, how does CBD feel? And I always like to explain it as it's less of what I do feel and more of what I don't feel. I now let things roll off my shoulders versus primarily reacting to them with haste. Things that used to make, my blood boil or make me feel like I had tears ready to go, like I mentioned earlier, those things just kind of roll off my shoulders with ease a little bit more than they used to. And for my business, what keeps me up at night and keeps me excited is what I like to call the business S curve. Y'all can Google that if have never seen the graph before, but it's a graph that looks like an S. And every business has an S curve that kind of shows their growth. And right here, Green Compass is in the very beginning stages, and we're getting ready to launch in this growth of a company that's expected to reach $47 billion, like I explained earlier. And that makes me so excited that if we're already seeing success at this rate and we're only here, where are we going to be once we get up here? I mean, that's the kind of stuff that gives you a little bit of a goosebump reaction. You know what I'm talking about? So additionally, currently, unfortunately, we are in the throes of a great resignation. 47.8 million people left their jobs by the end of 2021. People are looking for ways to earn an income from home with a more flexible schedule. So I ask you, are you going to let this ship pass you by? Or are you going to take advantage of the fact that you most likely have people in your network looking for a more flexible way to earn an income from home? So I'm going to leave you with this. If this is something that interests you at all, if you are thinking that you are looking for a way to be one of those individuals that could earn a secondary income or a primary income from home with a flexible schedule, I promise you, you're in the right place at the right time with the right product and a transparent company that can be the vehicle to take you to your goals. Whether that's covering one grocery bill a month, whether that's covering your mortgage, or maybe even possibly this starting as a plan B, but then replacing your income and becoming your plan A. Whatever that dream looks like to you, you cannot lose with this brand, this community that's more like a family, and a transparent, consumable product that's made ethically and a product that does what it says it'll do. So I thank you guys so much for your time, and I really hope that I get to see you around in this community as we continue to grow, lock arms, and run together. So thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate it.